Coming up next on Good Morning El Paso, developing now a monster storm set to pound the eastern seaboard today. Thousands of flights are being canceled across the nation. In Horizon, a late-night rollover sends 2 people to the hospital. One of them died. And more closures to announce as we get closer to the arrival of Pope Francis in Juarez, and why those planning on catching a glimpse of him in Juarez should plan to leave really early.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Well, good Friday morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. Thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning. We begin with an ABC7 traffic alert that everyone should listen to. If you plan on traveling anywhere, not just the East Coast, but anywhere this weekend, you could be in for a rough time. You might not even get there. A massive snowstorm, as we've been telling you for days, is expected to pound the eastern seaboard today. We know that thousands of flights are being canceled already, and that could impact air travel even if you are not heading in that direction. If you are traveling, be sure to check the travel center at KVIA.com. We'll have more on that storm and how people on the East Coast are bracing for it this morning coming up a little later. But first, let's go ahead and talk about our forecast, which is a big reason to smile this morning, Crystal, because even if you throw some wind our way, we can handle it.
Yeah, and we're the lucky ones because today the forecast is great. We're not worried about winds, rain, temperatures are comfortable. Really, today's one of those perfect forecasts. Clouds and radar map for us shows us that we are clear. Some high-level clouds rolled by overnight, and that's it. Now we're going to be looking at sunshine through the rest of today, which will warm us up just a bit more than yesterday, but we are still battling some of the cool air left behind from that cold front that passed us. On our temperatures, we're now at 29 degrees in El Paso and 24 in Las Cruces. Remember, yesterday during Good Morning El Paso, we said by tomorrow morning, 20s, really cold. We are right where we are expected to be. The good news, temperatures are going to continue cranking up this weekend. And then as Hillary mentioned, winds do become a factor. So we'll look at that in just a few minutes.
All right. Thanks so much, Crystal. And now to round-the-clock coverage. Starting in Horizon City, we have new information right now on a serious rollover that happened last night. Unfortunately, it has turned deadly. It happened just before 9 o'clock on the 1900 block of Ascension. Here's some new video that our crew from Round the Clock shot. A spokeswoman with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office tells us a 55-year-old man lost control of his SUV and rolled several times. An 8-year-old was also in that SUV, but we were told that he had no injuries and was wearing his seatbelt. Both of them were taken to area hospitals. We're told the 55-year-old died. No word on what caused that rollover. The city of El Paso is considering closing its offices the day the Pope comes to Juarez. We could have a final answer on that next week. But on the agenda for Tuesday's meeting, there is a proposal to shut down City Hall February 17th. And if approved, city offices would be open that Friday instead. The proposal also asks that the city manager be authorized to spend up to $50,000 to pay for services ensuring the public safety. And then there's the possible road closures on top of that. The agenda is also a request to close certain streets that may get too congested from people trying to catch a glimpse of the Pope. We'll let you know what council decides on Tuesday. El Paso Community College is the latest to cancel classes. Meanwhile, on February 17th, we did speak to EPCC's president about that decision. He tells us it came down to concerns over transportation and safety. And if you're planning on seeing the Pope, don't expect it to be easy, that's for sure. A community meeting was held just last night to talk about this. Officials from Juarez and from El Paso say the sooner you can get to Juarez, definitely the better.
They have to understand it's going to be a lot of people, so we have to go with that mentality. There's going to be a lot of people. It's not that you're going to a picnic, you know what I'm saying.
As soon as my kids get out of school on Tuesday, go to Juarez. I have relatives over there, but now with what they're saying that they're going to close the streets, there's no way I could get to my relatives.
Juarez officials suggest leaving a day before the visit. Whether by car or by foot, expect long lines at the bridge. The Juarez hotels are already reportedly full. The silver lining here is that El Paso and Juarez officials say this is our time to shine in the international spotlight.
The mayors from both cities are promoting this region to bring more people to this area to make business so we can get better wages for everybody and all that stuff. So I think that the visit from the Pope will give us a perspective around the world and people will see us in a different manner.
Meanwhile, the Juarez Diocese is asking for more volunteers to stand shoulder to shoulder on both sides of the Pope's journey through Juarez, and that's to keep people out of the road. It is a 25-mile journey, so the diocese says it needs 80,000 people. They've already had 60,000 sign up. We have video of the altar being built where Pope Francis will have that Mass. The diocese also said it will have people in place who are trained to administer first aid in case anyone in the crowd has an emergency. A former high school baseball coach convicted of cocaine possession is now on 5 years probation. 65-year-old Mike Beltran was found guilty of possessing less than 2 grams of cocaine. Federal agents arrested him during a 2012 DEA drug sting on the east side. He could have had up to 10 years in prison. Before he was sentenced, Beltran took the stand, apologizing to his family and friends, stating he never bought or used cocaine in his life. Beltran could face removal from the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame and the El Paso Baseball Hall of Fame after having been convicted of a felony. Good news now. Vista del Futuro Charter School is celebrating 2 top honors this morning. It is the first of its kind to receive a blue ribbon nomination in the city. It's located on the east side at 1671 Bob Hope Drive. The school is also part of an initiative here in Texas to help set the bar a little higher. We have Good Morning El Paso's Denise Olivas live with this story. You got to love a story like this, Denise.
Of course we do, Hillary. And getting a blue ribbon nomination is a top recognition for schools in the U.S. And later this year, Vista del Futuro will find out if they'll be able to claim the honor in Washington, D.C. But for now, staff and students are beaming with pride.
Everybody was cheering, they were crying. It was just an emotional time for us because we've worked so hard.
Not only is the school in the running for the national award, but it's also part of an initiative by the Texas Education Agency to set an example for other schools across the state. And it's only one of 7 schools chosen in the entire state. The school's principal credits its innovative teaching techniques. Next month, a TEA team will visit the school to observe classes and even record a training video. It will then be used as a blueprint for other schools to follow. The principal tells ABC7 how the school continues to be successful.
We don't teach at one level. We teach at 3 different levels. The learning level of the child. Are they the high group, mid group, low group? Instruction's the same, but the work that the child is given is at their level.
And Vista del Futuro is also a certified STEM school which focuses in science, technology, engineering, and math. Hillary, back to you.
All right, great story. Thanks so much, Denise. Here's a live look at that morning commute, US 54 at Pershing. If you're getting ready to head out right now, it's looking really good. Just be sure and grab that jacket. As Crystal told you, it is so cold out there. And keep it here for much more to come on Good Morning El Paso if you're sticking around. The East Coast is bracing for that potentially record-breaking winter storm. The icy juggernaut has already frozen air travel for airports across the region. Also, can Bernie Sanders pull off the upset? A new poll will have him and his supporters smiling this morning. But what does it mean for the Clinton campaign? We'll look into that, and we'll look into our forecast with meteorologist Crystal Clyde. Didn't mean to give everything away by saying it's so cold out there.
No, you know what? It's okay because I want everyone to know it's cold out there. This morning we're talking 20s, but this afternoon will we be so cool? We'll look at that temperature trend and when we start to warm coming up.
Thanks, Crystal. This is ABC7 where news comes first.